What's up, guys? In this video, we're going to talk how to work out to pack on 30 pounds of lean muscle very rapidly. Let me say it again, to pack on 30 pounds of lean muscle very rapidly. So in this video, you're going to basically learn how to work out in a way that's going to promote the most muscle growth to make sure that you don't add fat, but you add a lot of muscle to your body. And also what are the best exercises to really trigger that most muscle growth and how to basically work out effectively. So you only have to spend like 5, 6 hours in a week at a gym out of your 168 hours that you have available each week and learn exactly what is the best number of reps, sets for maximum muscle growth and how much you're supposed to rest in between sets, etc. And how those cardio plays into all of this. Is there such thing like too much cardio or does that not exist regardless of how fast your metabolism is? So we're going to dive into all of that, especially for guys who have hard gainers, guys who have been trying to gain muscle for a long time, who don't know what to do. All that is for you. This video is really specifically for you. And myself, I'm Terry. I've gained over 70 pounds of lean muscle. And the pictures you see at the bottom was me on the left, at the bottom left, where I was 110, 115 pounds. I was skinny, insecure. I didn't feel like, myself, smallest guy in the room, hated it. But I've gained over 70 pounds of lean muscle. And I'm actually sitting at 180, 185 right now. And I'm very proud I did with very fast metabolism. And if I could do it, you can do it too. There are no excuses. There's just the approaches that you do that is wrong. So anyway, let's get right in the video. So one of the first things that I want to really touch on before we get really started in what types of workout you should be doing is what is the best number of times you should be going to a gym in the first place? How many times should you work out each week? The optimal time for, especially for you guys who are hard gainers, guys who have fast metabolism and everything, is 3 to 4 times a week. Anything more is useless and not needed, especially if you have a fast metabolism. Why? Because think of it like this. You have a fast metabolism, you burn a lot of calories on a regular basis. The more you go to a gym and you work out, the more you're gonna burn a lot of calories. If you go 5, 6, 7 times at the gym, you're gonna burn a lot more calories, which are gonna make it a lot harder for you to just keep weight on and to actually add more weight on because you're burning just so much calories on a regular basis. So you need to be able to work out a minimal amount of times, 3 to 4 times a week, and gain the most out of those workouts to make sure that when you do go, you gain an insane amount of muscle. You make sure you trigger muscle growth, but you don't have to go too much because if you do go too much, you're gonna burn too much calories and just not add enough muscle and weight. I hope that makes sense, guys. Because I used to work at 6 to 7 times a week at some point, then I switched over to 3 to 4 times a week, and I was mind blown because I was always used to work out a lot of the times, and the more the better, which is not true. So that is the biggest problem with working out 5 to 7 times a week, and that can also lead you to overtraining and poor recovery and slower growth. Because if you're not sleeping, your 8 to 9 hours a night, etc., like 99% of you guys watching, well, guess what? That's also gonna make it more likely for you to overtrain because you're just not recovering, and you're just not gonna be able to like actually, rebuild the muscle that you're breaking down in the gym. Because that's what happens when you go to the gym, you break down the muscle, and that's supposed to grow stronger and bigger. But if you're not sleeping enough, like 99% of you guys watching, you're not sleeping like having good sleep. Well, that's not gonna happen, especially if you're having also a fast metabolism and training a lot. Now, let's talk about what are the best workout splits. So, the best, in my opinions, are really the push pull legs framework and the full body workouts. I've done both and they've been amazing. I've done others as well, but push pull legs have been one of the framework that's been giving me some of the best results. I typically actually mix the pull and the legs at the same time. So, what is a push pull leg? A push pull leg workout style is basically simple. Push is basically just think of it as all the machines or all the movement that you're supposed to push something. Bench press, shoulder press, like skull crushers and everything, that would all be part of a push workout. Pull would be more like something that, all the stuff that you're supposed to pull. Lat pull down, like rows, deadlift, etc. All those movements are pulling movements. And legs, I think that's self-explanatory. That's leg workout. That's squatting, that's leg press, leg extension, leg curls, all these movements are with your legs to make sure Romanian deadlift, all this stuff. And what I do is that I usually combine my pull day and my legs day in one. I basically do pull and legs the same day at the same workout. And that's very beneficial for me. And that makes it a lot easier. And I enjoy it. I basically do deadlift and squatting in the same day. And I also do other stuff that are like pulling stuff and legs workout at the same time. And I would recommend a lot of you guys to do that framework as well. Very, very crucial to be able to like gain a lot more muscle. And one thing that you guys need to really, keep in mind is that the most crucial exercises to really, bring the most muscle growth at the end of the day will always be bench pressing, squatting, and deadlifting. No matter what other guys are saying out there, these are some of the lifts that will always bring about the most muscle growth no matter what. They're very, very important. And the stronger you are at this lift, the stronger you're going to be in every single other lift out there that you're doing in the gym. That's just that simple, which is why it's so important to really get stronger at this lift, because they also help you get stronger at every single other lift out there a lot faster. So do not neglect any of these. I know a lot of you guys like to neglect deadlifting or squatting or whatever. Do not. Very important. Just make sure you have the proper form though. Make sure you do have the proper form. And if you guys want me to break down how to have the proper form for deadlifting or something like that, I can do that as well. And I think I do have some videos already uploaded somewhere on my YouTube and Instagram, especially about how to do a proper deadlift the best way possible. Same thing with squat. But let me know in the comments if you guys want to see a more in-depth breakdown. So anyway, now let's get a little bit into what are the most beneficial rep and sets ranges for each exercises for exercises. So 8 to 12 is typically the best most of the time. You don't need to go all the way to 20, 25, 50, a bunch of BS. That's nonsense. And going lower than like 3 reps most of the times is unnecessary to a degree. Like 3 to 5 can work, but you don't want to stay in those rep ranges too early on in your lifting career, or you also don't want to do that um, and also you don't want to do that too frequently. You want to be able to also have a lot of moments where you are like around the 8 to 12 reps, especially for movements that are like anything else than deadlifting, squatting, and bench. Like the compound lift, deadlifting, bench, and squatting. Those typically you can go a little bit lower in reps most of the time, like being around 3 to 5 to 6 reps here and there. But like the other ones, you always typically want to be at 8 to 12, like triceps pull down, barbell curls, all types of other stuff. You want to try to stay around 8 to 12. Sometimes even 15 could be very beneficial. So you got to really think of it like that. And in the terms of like sets, now you need to really understand this because that's important. There are working sets and warm-up sets. A working set is a natural set. A warm-up set is just you warming up, meaning that usually you're not supposed to just start an exercise out the blue. No warm-up, just get into it. BS. If that's what you do, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to warm up. You need to make sure that you have always maybe one warm up set to make sure that like your muscles are really working together. You're not going to injure yourself. You're warmed up and you're doing the right thing and you're cool and you have the right movement really dialed in. So you want to make sure that you have one warm up set, perhaps maybe two, maybe three, depending on like how early you're just starting an exercise. Like if you're just getting in the gym, like you're doing bench press, that's the first thing you have to do. I would typically have, depending on how strong you are, anywhere from 1 to 3 warm up sets or something like that. Personally, like because I go in very high weight to a degree, I have to do multiple warm up sets. Like sometimes I have to do 4, even 5 warm up sets to be able to like really get into my working set, which are my actual sets. The sets that actually count. Anything else before, I don't count anything. It's just a warm up set, doesn't matter, doesn't exist. But the actual working sets, the actual sets that matter, you should be doing about 3 to 4 per exercises. And this is about most of what you need most of the time. Sometimes, for something like bench pressing, squatting, and also deadlifting, you could be also doing around even up to 5 working sets. That could be beneficial, but most of the time, 3 to 4 should be where you should be at for those exercises. And honestly, all the other exercises out there. And now let's talk a little bit about what is the optimal rest time in between sets. 99% of the time, you should be only resting about 90 seconds to 2 minutes and 30 seconds per, like, in between sets. In between sets, and I would say around 60 seconds once you go from one exercise to another one. So usually there's a framework that's going to work the best, and you're going to be able to recover the most, but also be able to lift a lot of weight and also be able to not like slack too much. No one should be resting like 7 minutes or whatnot. That's a bunch of BS. And resting like 30 seconds is a bunch of BS too. Like, you're doing cardio at that point. It's like minimum of like, I would say 60 seconds you can even rest, but 90 seconds would be like really around the holy grail to 2 minutes, typically where it's at for most people. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to 3 minutes is typically for like, if you really lift a lot of weight now, if you're really getting really serious now, like, for example, a serious weight would be, lifting like 315 for bench pressing, pounds, or that would be like lifting like 400 pounds plus on squatting or deadlifting, stuff like that. You would want to really be around 3 minutes of like resting periods at those moments, because now we're getting really serious and you need a lot more time to like really rest in between sets most of the time. But anyway, now let's get into how does cardio actually function into all of this. So cardio is really crucial for a lot of you guys that have faster metabolism. You might think, oh no, I don't want to do cardio because I already have a fast metabolism. But cardio is really important in being able to like recover faster from your workouts and improving your health overall, because your cardio is really important to be able to stay healthy, to be able to like stay mobile and agile in a day-to-day basis. But too much cardio can also stop your muscle growth, and that is true. Now the question is, how much cardio is too much cardio, and how much cardio is going to prevent you from getting the amount of muscle you want? So my recommendation is to do no more than 6 hours of cardio on a weekly basis. You have 168 hours per week. Just don't do more than 6 hours of cardio on a weekly basis. So all the running, the basketball, the boxing, and the swimming that you do, just make sure you don't exceed 6 hours most of the time, especially if you have a fast metabolism, especially if you're a hard gainer, especially if you don't know exactly what you're doing in the gym, because you don't want to make it harder for yourself to be able to really um, gain the amount of muscle you want. Now, you do want to still do cardio, and I would say that like a good amount in general would be at least doing 2 hours of cardio a week. That would be a great amount to still be active, be agile, be mobile, and improve your health as well. And when I say 2 hours, would be aside from just your day-to-day walking and everything, like unless you're hitting around 10,000 steps on a daily basis, which would basically mean that you don't even really need to do cardio, you probably want to do about 2 hours on a weekly basis. That's if you don't hit like 10,000 steps on a daily basis, which you can track on your own phone with if you have an iPhone, you have a health app that's tracking your step on a regular basis. So you can just check that out. Now, what is the best type of cardio? The best type of cardio is simply the ones that you can stick to. In other words, the type of cardio that you enjoy the most, because a lot of you guys don't like cardio as well. And I don't like cardio. I hate running, so it's not my thing. So one type of cardio for someone might be better than another type for someone else. So my recommendation, especially if you hate cardio, or you're not into cardio, or you've never done cardio, or that's not something that you really enjoy, or whatever your situation is, just pick a sport that you love and just do it like once to 3 times a week without sitting 6 hours again. It can be basketball, that can be tennis, that can be boxing, swimming, running. I don't know. You can anything that's actual cardio. That can be a lot of different things. And if you can do that, if you really can't think of a sport, or you don't know how to fit in your schedule, or whatever happens, what you can do is walk 15 to 30 minutes on a treadmill at the end of every single workout you do. And I used to do that. I'm not doing that now because I'm playing basketball most of the time for to do my cardio. But you can just do that, and that's very, very effective. You're gonna feel so much better afterward. Like you're gonna feel like you have a lot more energy. Each workout, you're gonna feel like it's just gonna be a life changing to just realize that just those 15 to 30 minutes after each workout actually benefit you so much more. You're gonna feel a lot more energy on a day-to-day basis, and you're gonna be recovering faster from your workouts. You're gonna be lifting a lot more weight as a consequence. That's going to be life changing. So do not neglect cardio. Now, guys, none of what we talked about here literally matters if you're not consistent with it. Because you can have a plan, you can have whatever, but if you're not consistent, you're not gonna make it happen. It's not gonna go anywhere. But obviously, everything is better when it's more tailored to you, because all of you guys have different lifestyle, likings, needs, body type to a degree, and everything is a bit different for everyone. And if you don't have something that's really tailored to your body type, to your lifestyle, to your likings, to your needs, to where you're coming from, to what you've done in the past, because some of you guys have done a lot of things that are actually detrimental to your metabolism, to yourself, and to your muscle growth, etc., which you have to correct those things to even be able to really make progress. Which is why having a tailored plan is always more successful and will get you there a lot faster than you will ever on your own, if you ever get there on your own. So what I want you to understand is that if you really want, a tailored game plan to actually your body type, to your specific situation, your lifestyle, to who you are, to be gaining those 30 pounds of muscle plus in the next 6 months, just click the link below, book a free strategy call with me, and we'll dive into what is the problem, what is going on, and really come up with a game plan that's going to actually help you get you exactly to where you want to be, instead of just complete instead of continuing to slap your head against the wall, trying to figure out things and put things together that you don't even know. Because at the end of the day, what matters the most is how to implement it in your lifestyle in a manner that is actually successful and that is painless, that is just fitting in your lifestyle. You get in there, you're making progress, and you have someone overshadowing you and making sure that they guide you to the finish line and you can get all the benefits and you can finally be a lot more confident and you can finally be on top of the world and finally show the example to the people that you care about on how to get it done. Anyway, guys, again, if you really want someone to get you a tailor plan to really get to your goal ASAP, someone that's been in your shoes that knows how to bulk up, because I used to be 110 pounds, gain 70 pounds to lean muscle, how to bulk up successfully and fast, just click the link in the bio, make sure you book a free call, and I'll talk to you soon. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Peace.